Hello people, it's Joe, it's All Leeds TV, and it's time for your Leeds versus Cardiff post-match chat. Listen, not ideal. Not a great performance. Really surprised, if I'm being totally honest. You know how positive I was prior to the game. I think we all were, you know. Yes, we were all nervous. Yes, we were all anxious. But you've got to look at the game and you'd be very right to be confident. You know, I don't think it was misplaced. I genuinely don't. And I hope you believe that too, because look, we were in flying form prior to the lockdown. I know it's restart. I know, you know, people have said that to me. You know, form goes out of the window, we're back in. But I just thought we'd be fitter, ready, stronger, quicker, faster, and it wasn't like that. You know, like Conor said we were lethargic. We weren't really at the races. You know, big stat coming out of it is that Patrick Bamford had the least touches of any player, including the goalkeepers. You know, which isn't a great stat. It isn't great reading, and it wasn't a great performance, but it can't just be levelled at Pat. You know, I think, you know, I said on the watch along, you know, for me, I think it was only really Tyler. I thought Poveda looked decent when he came on, if I'm being honest. He showed flashes. Substitutions. It was nice to see him try to put bodies on, but I think Ayling, was that the right one? You know, moving Dallas out to the right to maybe looking at better balls in the box, but I thought Dallas wasn't great today in terms of that. And what I don't understand from a Leeds United perspective, you know, we've seen it time and time again. When we are struggling to break teams down, we're working it out to the wings and then pinging it in. Now, listen, Cardiff are absolutely huge. You're going to struggle all day against a giant Cardiff side, you know. It's the one team in the division. Look, prior to kickoff, it showed you like least touches, least possession, you know, least passes in a game. 24 for all the key stats, for all the key metrics. Cardiff are at the bottom, but that's the difference in this division, you know, and it's a team we always struggle against, you know. Neil Harris has Leeds United's number. We've seen it. Neil Shithouse Harris has Leeds United number. But listen, it's as you were. You know, there's still a 7-point gap. Yes, rightly so. We're all going to be nervous. We are, you know. It's funny because I said prior to kick-off, as well as yesterday went, this would have been a real barometer for Leeds United to see if it will. Look, I do believe it'll end different to last year. Of course I do. I still think we'll go up in the top 2. But what I'm saying is, you know, I was hopeful of a positive result, a win on the road at Cardiff, and be able to say, look, that's the difference between this year and last, is the fact that we've had an opportunity and we've capitalised on it. Everything went as you would want as a Leeds United player, fan, manager yesterday. It was perfect. And then we come and we struggle. But listen, I was surprised by Cardiff. I thought they wouldn't be quite at the races. I don't think anybody would be able to compete with us, and I was wrong, you know. Cardiff applied themselves well. They weren't great. They're not a great footballing side, but they took their opportunities. You know, Hoylett was gifted an opportunity. I thought KP didn't have a great game. He makes a silly challenge. I think it's on Volks, or no, it was on Patterson, weren't it, at the end of the first half? And I genuinely thought, although I didn't say it, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking he could get sent off. He could get sent off here if he's not careful, because he looked so angry. And I was thinking, if he comes out second half and Hoylett or someone runs at him and he makes a rash challenge, we could be losing him. It wasn't the case, and I'm thankful for that. But it was an error. It was an error, and that's frustrating. Is the fact that both goals come from errors, and easily avoidable errors. We're not under the cosh, you know. Calvin doesn't even look when he plays the pass. Is it a little bit of cockiness maybe? The ball comes into him, he swings his right foot. To be honest, when you watch it back, I'm not even sure if it had made its way to Ayling. I think it was Ayling who was on the touchline. It was just a bit nonchalant and he didn't connect with it. Gives Hoylett. Now, I will also say, when Hoylett's running at the goal, there's the opportunity to close him down from Ben White, from KP, to get back in there. And that's not sharp enough either. And I think Meslier should do better. It's poor all round from Leeds United, and you know, it was their first shot on target. It was their first goal. We had many shots on targets, many opportunities, and stats will tell you that. But did we really have any clear cut? We had one, and we'll touch on that in a second. Maybe I'm being harsh. We had 2 or 3. But yeah, it's an error, and that's what's frustrating. And you know, with Cardiff, once they go in front, we are going to struggle, and that seemed to be the case. Although, you know, there wasn't really that zip that we'd seen prior to lockdown. You know, there was one person for me who did look on it, who did look ready and raring, and the players had said so prior to kickoff, was Tyler Roberts. You know, we were saying in the in the live stream. Give it Tyler, get him involved. Then second half comes around. Obviously, late in the first half, we have the opportunity to equalise. It's well worked on the right. It comes to Tyler. When he plays the ball across, I would have liked him to have, the reverse pass. I think it might have been click, but it turns out it was a good ball across. It missed the Cardiff defenders, and Harrison has an effort at goal. And we all know Harrison he gets so many opportunities and should have much more goals, and that's an area of his game he needs to improve on, because he hits the crossbar, he hits the post, he's so unlucky at times, and he goes to bury it. Now, some might say if you watch it back, Smithies might have had it, but for me it was going in the back of the net, and Patrick Bamford stood on the line and stops it. I said to you earlier, and this isn't going to get a bashing, because it's our first game, but Patrick Bamford had the least touches of any player on the pitch. Now, one of them touches was a key touch in actually defending the ball going into the net. The fact that he's had the least touches, and one of them being the one that knocks it off the line and stops us equalising. If we equalise, we win the game. Genuinely believe that. However, I don't even know what he's doing, if I'm being totally honest. I don't know if he's trying to flick his foot to direct it the other way. Listen, I'm not a professional footballer, but I even think if he connects with it as he wanted to, it's going wide. Or it's going back out the way it came. I think you can get out of the way. I genuinely do. I think you can get out of the way of it, and it's disappointing to see. We all said this, we said this in the lineup, in the lead up to the game. You know how buzzing we've been. I've been so amped up. It's okay not having JKA, etc. ready if he's not fit enough or whatever it may be. But as soon as Bamford misses opportunities because of what's happened prior, the tide will turn in a flash. It wasn't a great performance from Pat today, but that's not just levelled at him. There was many average performances. And like I say, I thought Tyler Roberts did looked dangerous when he did get on the ball. And I thought Poveda looked decent when he came on as well. But again, it's a similar, I've said it before, left, right, cross, repeat. And it was a little bit like that, and when you're up against a strong Cardiff side who are brilliant in the air and are about 7-8 foot, you're going to struggle. There was times though, Ayling had one in the first half where the corners did cause them problems, and, he had one that flashed, just off his head, and that wasn't destined for the goal, but it was a chance nonetheless. There was a few where I think second half Patrick's put through by Robertson, his touch is way off, takes it with his right foot straight to Smithies. Listen, I'm still confident in the game because I just think back to last season and we've seen some great comebacks under Bielsa, so it's never say never. And of course, Harrison had an opportunity as well, which Smithies saved with his face. It's a great save in all honesty. I don't think Harrison can do much else with it. But of course, anyway, they score a second, and again, it's gifted, and it's really, really poor because you've got our captain there. Love Liam Cooper, I do, but it shouldn't be happening from a seasoned pro like Liam. It's a hospital pass, a bit like Calvin's. It's just so poor, and it's nicked in front by Mendes-Lang, and Glatzel puts it in, and it's a good finish. But again, for me, Meslier should do better. I know once it's hit the post and it's coming in, you're always going to struggle, but it shouldn't hit the post. He should be at it and saving it before that. So yeah, food for thought, game back on. It's really going to buoy up the likes of Fulham. If we win today, they're probably thinking, wow, we're out of it. But imagine what, how Brentford, etc. are feeling after that, and what a weekend we've got to look forward to next weekend, Yes, it'll be nervy, but it's what you love as a football fan, what you love as a championship football fan, and we're still well within the hunt. It's as you were, guys, with one game less to go. Wasn't and didn't pan out I envisaged it to do. I thought we'd be too good for them. Wasn't the case. Was wrong. And that's how it is. Bit of pill to swallow, but we lost the game. We move on now, guys. We move on. And hopefully we'll get a positive result next week against Fulham. And then you're sitting pretty again. But look, wasn't the best today. Lethargic, not quite at the races, which is really, really surprising to me. Because I thought after the reset we'd be ready and raring to go. But it's one defeat, 8 games left to go. As you were, 7 points still the gap. So I'll leave it there. Thank you for watching. Share, subscribe, like the video if you can. And I'll see you soon, guys. It's been a pleasure. Leeds, marching on together. Keep the faith.